So I can't get the sound working. Can you guys still hear me in the back? I can't get the sound working, but you'll just have to know it's flashing, and hopefully we'll get it working for next time. So in this course, we'll be doing questions like this. This is a warm-up question of something we'll do later in the course. Let me stop this timer now. And so far, 171 people have answered. So let's see, what did 171 people say about 0.999 repeating, of course? What did people say? And there were three options. Either it's not a valid number, it is a valid number, and it's exactly 1, or it's a valid number, but it's less than 1. So what did people say? We had 36 people that said it's a valid number that is exactly equal to 1. We had 126 people that said it's a valid number that is less than 1. And we had 10 people who said it is not a valid number. So I will say these 10 people are wrong. So if you were one of these 10 people, unfortunately, you got the question wrong. And in this course, we are going to learn what are these repeated things about infinity. So one of the things we're going to learn is that 0.999 repeating actually means, this is what it means, it is an infinite sum. Infinite. And what infinite sum is it? Well, the first 9, 0.9, what do we tell people? What does 0.9 means? What do we tell second graders when they learn about decimals? 0.9 just means 9 tenths. 9 tenths. And what about the second 9? That one means 9 100ths. 9 100ths. And what about the third 9? That means 9 1,000ths. And so on. Plus dot, dot, dot. So this one single number, 0.999 repeating, actually means an infinite sum. And it might surprise you to learn that if you add up infinitely many things, you don't necessarily get infinity. You get a valid number. So it is a valid number. This is a valid number. And in this course, we're going to learn the notation for this. So we're actually going to get to these infinite sums a little bit later in the course. Today is going to be like a bit of a preview day, like a trailer for a movie. So if you don't want to take notes today, that's OK. Starting Wednesday, we'll really be starting the notes. It is a valid number, and we're going to learn a notation for it. What is the notation we're going to learn? It looks like this. Let me close this. It looks like 9 times 1 over 10 to the power I. And if you've ever done programming before, this I might seem familiar from a for loop. I stands for index. So we're indexing all the terms in the sequence. Instead of writing them all out, we're going to write 1 over 10 to the power I, and that is going to stand for all these terms that we see here. So 10, that's 10 to the power 1. 100 is 10 to the power 2. 1,000 is 10 to the power 3, and so on. And then to indicate that we want to add them all up, we're going to use this fancy symbol there. So this symbol is a Greek S. S stands for sum. And we're going to say, I'm going to sum starting at 1 and going to infinity. So this is the notation for 0.99 repeating. What it actually means is an infinite sum, and you actually write down the infinite sum like this. And it is a valid number. And now the question is, what is it equal to? So it's some number, but what is it equal to? And 128 people thought it was less than 1. 36 people thought it was equal to 1. In a second, I'm going to open this up again. You'll have another chance to vote. The 10 people who thought it was not a valid number, they will get a chance to move to a different answer. And this time, I want you to talk to the people around you and try to come to a consensus. So if you all agree it's one thing, try to convince the other people around you what you think it is. So I'll give you guys another 2 minutes. This time, feel free to talk. When we come back, I'll reveal the answer. Okay, so I reopened it. You have to put your answer again. Even if you didn't change your answer, you have to put it in one more time into version 2 of the question. You have 30 seconds left to put in your new answer, updated by what you think, talking to the people near you. Okay, time's up. Let's see what people said. Okay, this time, okay, only one person didn't get the memo that this is not a valid number, is wrong. That's pretty good. In the 230 class, I think there were 5 people who still thought it was not a number, even though I told them that was okay. Now it's changed a bit. So now 103 people think it's a valid number, a little bit less than 1, and 52 people think it's a valid number that is exactly equal to 1. So the majority of people, by 66% to 33%, repeating of course, think it's a valid number less than 1. The correct answer is that it is exactly equal to 1. So most people were wrong. Most people were wrong. Okay, so this is the kind of thing we're going to be doing in this course. Surprising things about infinity. Infinity is very slippery. When you start doing things with infinity, there's a lot of counterintuitive things. The fact that 0.99 repeating is exactly equal to 1 is a surprising fact about infinite sums. So when you write an infinite sum, now there's no guarantee that there's only one way to write a number. I think a lot of people think 0.99 repeating can't possibly be equal to 1 because every single number, there should be exactly one way to write it, right? Well, that's false when you talk about infinite sums. That is true for finite sums. There's only one way to write each number if it's a finite sum. But if it's an infinite sum, there can be more than one way. Very surprising. So this is the kind of thing we're going to be doing in this course. We're going to get to this in a month or two. But for today, it's just going to be like a preview of stuff we're doing in the course. So this is one little preview. And you've already seen one of the major components of the lecture, which is these mathematized polls. So really, the point of today's lecture is to show off, or not show off, but introduce you to all the things that are in the course. And we've done the first one so far, which is these mathematized live polls. These are going to be worth 5% of your grade. So if you come to class and you answer questions, you get a free 5%. Did only 33% of the class, 50 people, get a mark there because most people got it wrong? No, everybody gets a mark. If you come to class, you show up, you try your hardest, you just answer, you get a mark just for trying. You don't need to get the right answer. And if you do that, it's 5%. I think this is the easiest 5% to get in the course. Just come to class and answer the questions. There is an alternate grading scheme where it's 0%, and the 5% is moved to the final exam. But I guarantee you the final exam is harder than showing up and answering the questions. So I recommend you come to class. OK, we did this one. Let's check this off. OK. What you have to do before Wednesday's class, today is just for funsies, doesn't count for anything. But for Wednesday's class, you need to make an account with Mathmatize. And if you go to CourseLink, there's a link to take you to the right place to make an account so that when you answer poll questions in class, it's connected to your name and you get the marks. So write that down somewhere, to do. What else are we going to do in lecture? There is going to be a workbook. Did I bring my copy of the workbook? I did. So this is what the workbook looks like. And the workbook is full of blanks and things. So it'll say 0.99 repeating equals, and then there'll be a blank, and then we'll fill it in class together, what is in the workbook. To get the workbook, you have to go to the bookstore. It's right here. So if you're in this room, you're not far from the bookstore. You also need to do that before Wednesday's class. So go to the bookstore and get the workbook. OK, this is a good point to stop for any questions or comments about the polls or the workbook or anything like that. Yeah. No, just this. You don't need to buy a textbook, a big expensive textbook. You just buy this printed notebook. This is made by a professor in the department, and they sell it to you for basically the cost of the paper plus the printing. So it's like $20, not $100, which is nice. Any other questions or comments? All right, so next we're going to do a fun little activity. And I'm going to tell you what the point of the activity is after. So you just have to bear with me for a few minutes. Here is the activity. So we're going to take 45 seconds to look at these lists of pairs of words, but do not write anything down. And I'll start a timer for you guys. Okay, and now here's the secret task. Write down as many of the words as you can. So if you have a piece of paper, write it down. If you have a computer, type them. If you have a cell phone, put them on your cell phone. How many can you remember? Write them down. All right, so now in Mathematize, I have all the words that were on there, and they're sorted into two columns, column A and column B. Look at the ones you wrote down, look at the column A and column B, and tell me which column did you remember more words from? That's the question in Mathematize. Which one did you remember more from column A or from column B? Okay, only 68 people have an answer, so 150 people had the answer before. Let me extend it. I'll extend it by 15 more seconds here. Put in your answer. Column A or B? You have to press the button on your phone. And then if you've already answered column A or B, try to think of which column you think people will remember more, right? Maybe you think one column is better than the other column. Which column is the deficient column? All right, let's reveal. What did people do here? Reveal the counts. 134 to 18. That is not close. That is not close. Somehow, column B is way better than column A. Column A sucks. Column A is the crappy column. No one can remember anything on column A. Everybody remembers things from column B. Is there some pattern in the words? What are the words in column A? Does anyone have a guess as to what's going on? Yeah. What do you mean by they're switched? They were originally mixed up. Okay, this is a good point to go over. So they were originally all mixed up, right? There were no columns. The words were all mixed up, and then I sorted them into two columns based on whether or not they had a blank. That's the difference. Yeah, this is a great question. And so now all the ones with no blank are in column A, and all the ones with a blank are in column B. And somehow you all remembered column B, but not column A. Yeah, in the back. Okay. Wait, so but you had to do more work. It's harder, and it's not even all there. You're telling me that somehow more work is better for remembering. Is that what you're trying to say? Anybody else have a question or a comment? Yeah. Column A has 2 syllables. I think column B, like television, lyrics, butter, bread. I don't know. It depends on your. This is a discussion that my wife and I have a lot. Where as a child they told me that the number of syllables is the number of times you clap. But of course, little mathematician Professor Nika said bread. That doesn't actually tell you the number of syllables. It's not supposed to have a pattern, but maybe it does. Okay. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, I like the word you said, challenging, right? Column B is somehow like, even though it's like a tiny thing, is more challenging. And somehow challenging helps you learn better, helps you remember more. And so a lot of people ask me, why do we print out course notes with blanks in it? Why don't we print out like a textbook that has everything filled in? Wouldn't that be better? Well, that's the same way it's better, the way column A is better than column B. So by coming to class and filling in things as you go, you're going to remember more, just like you remembered more from column B than column A. So that's the purpose of this course. That's why we have blank course notes, and why in class I have you guys do the polls before we fill them in to help you remember better. So hopefully that gets you on board, and you'll come to class and do the polls, and we'll all be happy. Any other questions or comments? All right, so that is showing you off the polls in the class. There are a few other things in the course you need to know about. The most important one in terms of coming up in the next week or so is the high school algebra quiz. The high school algebra quiz is going to be 10% of your grade. And on CourseLink, there are a lot of things posted, resources, stuff like that. If you had a very strong high school math class, you'll have no problem with this. If you had a less strong high school math class, then you'll need to put in the time and watch the videos and study. In this book, chapter 2 is all about the high school algebra quiz, and it's self-study. So there's videos, the completed things are posted, and you do it on your own. And that's just because some people in the class already know everything. Some people in the class need to put in the time. Both are perfectly valid. Figure out who you are and do the right thing. The actual quiz is on CourseLink. It's multiple choice, and there's unlimited attempts. So you can try it, and if you do badly, you can try it again. And you can do that all the way until January 30th. Actually, let me add that in as a due date. Let me give you a sense of what kind of question is going to be on the high school algebra quiz. So here is a question, and I think literally this question is on the high school algebra quiz. Fill in the blank to create a true statement. The square root of a number square, the square root of x squared, is blank equal to x. And your options are always, sometimes, or never. So is it always equal to x? Is it sometimes equal to x? Or is it never equal to x? Those are your choices. So on Mathematize, think about it for a sec and figure out what you think it's going to be. Did this go to sleep? In a minute. Okay, 5 seconds left. Okay, time is up. Let's see what people said. What did people say? Let's close this up. Reveal submission counts. Always, sometimes, or never. Always 109, sometimes 30, never 11. Okay, very good. We have a majority on one answer. That's always a good thing. Often in class when we do these questions, we'll kind of do each question. First, everybody does it individually. Then we'll do what is called pairing, think, pair, share. We'll talk to the people near us and try to come to a consensus. And if the whole class agrees, then that means everybody understands it. We can move on to the next thing. So it's really good to see when almost everybody, 110 people, are all on the same answer. What's less good is when the correct answer is the other answer. So the answer is sometimes. It's not always. So most people are wrong about this. Something in high school about square roots didn't come through. So what I want you guys to do, now that you know the answer is sometimes, try to think of what went wrong. Like what detail was I missing about square roots? And then try to answer this question. The equation square root of x squared equals x is true only when x is blank. It's only true for some values of x. It's only true for which? That's what you have to answer. Okay, there's 15 seconds left. I only have 100 answers, so if you haven't put your answer in yet, take a guess. When x is what? Okay. Can you guys hear that in the back, the beeping, or no? Yes, people are nodding. Okay, good. I just put the microphone near the computer. I don't know if that's a valid solution. Okay. Is only true when x is blank. So this is a word answer. You can type in any answer you want. Let's see, what did people say? Reveal submission counts. Okay, so some people typed in numbers. So it is true for these values, 0, 1, 2, right? People are saying when x is 1, it's a true statement. I want to know all the values of x where it's true. So 0, 1, 2, those are true values where the square root of 2 squared is 2. But I want to know all the possible values of x. So these are kind of correct, but like an incomplete answer. A whole number. Whole numbers are like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. It is true for whole numbers, but again, incomplete answer. It's true for other things as well. Okay, we got negative, greater than 0, less than or equal to 0. It deletes your blanks. Greater than 0, sometimes, yes, this is true. This is very good. All right. Divisible, okay, x, not negative. Oh, that's a nice answer. Positive, a positive number, a positive. So again, this is a good lesson. Mathematize wants a one-word answer. This is why we're doing a For Funsies class today with some Mathematize questions. Even, again, it's true for even numbers, but not complete. So let's see. One way you can check what it is to use everybody's favorite software, Desmos. Put your hand up if you've used Desmos before. Put your hand up if you like Desmos. Some people, okay. Let's see. How do you do it with Desmos? So what are we looking for? We're looking for where the answer is x. So the red line is a graph of y equals x. That is what we want to see. So now we're going to plot the square root of x squared. And it looks like that. It's the blue line. So where is the blue line and the red line the same? The red line is y equals x. That's doing nothing. And the blue line is the square root of the thing squared, the square root of x squared. Where are they the same and where are they different? Let's take a look. And we can do this. So the blue line and the red line overlap for all these numbers, and those are positive values of x. And actually, not only is it positive, it includes 0. So positive plus 0. So if you said positive, or you said positive and 0, or the technical name for positive and 0 is non-negative. This is a very tricky mathematician way to say positive or 0, non-negative. Then they are equal. For negative numbers, they are not equal. For negative numbers, the blue and the red are different. So the correct answer is something like positive or non-negative. What did people say? Let's see. Reveal the correct answer. Positive. 54% of people said positive. I'm sure a lot of other people said non-negative or a positive number. Those are all correct. So I'm sure more people got it right. I won't use these fill-in-the-blanks too often because they do fragment the answers a little bit like this. Okay, so what is the moral of the story? If you didn't know this about square roots, then you definitely need to review the high school algebra. This is literally one of the questions on the quiz. There's a big bank of like 200 questions, and your quiz is 20 random questions from that big bank. So you're going to have to learn stuff like this. I posted some videos already that go over this kind of material in probably way more detail than you want. You can watch the videos and try to understand what's going on. There's something funny about square roots that involve positive and negative numbers that you have to be careful for. Okay, any questions either about the mathematics or about the format of the course with the high school algebra quiz? All right, let me tell you the rest of the things in the course. So far, we have seen a lot of the things in the course. We've seen the polls, the high school algebra quiz, the workbook. Don't forget the workbook, very important for lectures. Filling in the blanks. Here are all the other things in the course. So there's going to be weekly homework online. It's also on Math1030. So you use the same account for both the polls and the online homework. That's 15% of your grade, and it's unlimited attempts. So the homework is really for you to learn. You can try it. It's OK to get it wrong. You try again. You do it as many times as you want. It also has this flavor of there's a pool of like 30 questions. You get like 10 random ones every week. There's going to be 2 in-person midterms worth 40% of your grade in total. Those are the dates, February 11th and March 25th. So make sure you write those dates down in your calendar and don't miss the exams. There's an in-person final on April 19th. So also write that down as well. I will say somebody who is in economics told me their midterms are the same day. So I am trying to work with the economics professor to figure something out. I can't guarantee it will be something else because these rooms are booked by scheduling. So if we can't move the rooms, then we can't move the midterm. But I'm trying my best to support you guys and make it easy for you to not have 2 midterms back to back. Stand by for updates about that. All right, the last question that I want to answer I think is important. How do you do well in the course? I think fundamentally, some people have a misunderstanding about what the course is. They think the course is memorizing a bunch of facts. But actually, I think the course is about problems. Problems, problems, problems. To do well in the course, you have to do well on the problems on the midterm and the final, because that's 70% of the grade altogether. And to do well on those problems, you have to do a lot of practice problems. The more practice problems you do, the better. So you should do all the homework problems. There's going to be extra problems posted. If you're still struggling with it, you can keep doing more. The other thing you should do is when you get stuck on problems, instead of just peeking at what the answer is, you should go get help. And there's 2 really good places to get help. One is in person. It's the Math Learning Center. The details of where it is, it's in the library, are posted on the CourseLink website. And definitely check that out. They have hours for you guys. So there's basically tutors that are paid with your tuition money, is getting paid to these tutors. And they sit in a room, and they wait for you to show up so they can talk to you about math. So you're paying for it. You might as well go and get help from the Math Learning Center. They have office hours on Mondays, Tuesdays, Wednesdays, Thursdays, and Fridays. So any day you want, you can just go there, and there's people waiting. I think they have like 4 hours a day. The schedule is posted online. The other place you can get help online is the online forums. And I will show you what these look like. Do I have it open? Yes, I do. OK. So these are the CampusWire forums, and this is what it looks like. The link is on the CourseLink website. So you have to go to CourseLink. From CourseLink, there's a 4-digit code you need to join the class. And they look like this. And anybody can post a new question. So a new post, you can write the question. You can say, what is the square root of x squared? I don't get that. Or whatever. And people in the course can see it and help you. So TAs and myself can see it, and we will help you answer. If you're shy about maybe you think people will think you're dumb because you don't know square root of x squared, by the way, you're not dumb. Nobody knows that the square root of x squared is not x until they fall for this trick once, so everybody has to do that. But you can post anonymously as well. So if you feel self-conscious, please just post anonymously. That's perfectly valid. The other fun thing you can do is once you post, I don't want to post this. Yes, no, don't actually post that. OK. You can see other people's questions, and if you have a good answer, you can post your answer. So I made the first post, and I said, welcome to the course. There's some details about how to do it. The question I had is post your favorite meme. So there's a meme contest for a bonus mark. So this last little paragraph is about the meme contest. Post your favorite meme in this thread. So if you go to answer this question, and you press answer this question, you can post a meme. This is a meme I like about the square root of x squared. Can you guys see it? How do I make it bigger? OK, there. That's the meme I found about square root of x squared on the Reddit math memes subreddit. I'm not actually going to post it, though, because I don't want to bias the results of the contest. OK, so let me close that. But you can post your meme, and these are some memes that were posted from the earlier class. There's a section that meets at 2:30, and these are what they posted. So I don't know. You can read them. You can decide if you like them or not, and you can hit them with this upvote thing to upvote the memes that are posted. The person who gets the most upvotes by the end of the week until next Monday is going to get 1 bonus karma point. What is a bonus karma point? Well, you have to read in the course outline to see exactly, but essentially it's 1% of your grade. It's a bonus 1%. OK? So whoever wins the math meme contest gets a bonus 1%. And not only that, throughout the term, every single one of you can get up to 5 by posting good questions and answers. So if you post a question, you're like, I really don't get this, and a lot of other people in the course all upvote it and they say, I don't get that either, that's great. You're earning karma points. If somebody posts a question, you say, oh, I know how to do that. You post the answer, that's karma points. So help each other out in this forum. I really hope you guys will use it, and I'm trying to encourage you by giving you some bonus points with it. OK. Back to this. OK. All right, there's exactly one other thing I need to go over, and then we'll stop and we'll go home a little early today. But any questions or comments about anything so far? OK, so the very last thing is about dark mode versus light mode. So in this app that I'm using for the Blackboard, we have a mode like this, but we also have night mode, where it looks like that. So you have to decide, do you like light mode better or dark mode better? Put your answer in Mathematize. Once your answer is in there, feel free to go. You tell me what you like better. And here's what I guess math looks like in there. All right, put your answer in. Don't forget to buy your workbook for next class, and see you guys on Wednesday.